Hey everyone, just popping in before the episode gets started to let you know that there will be spoilers for Batman and Spider-Man, just in case you're not caught up on their stories. Otherwise, enjoy the show. Hello, sunshines! I'm Universally Geeky, and this is Deep in Plot, a podcast for geeks, about geeks, and by geeks. On this show, we break down archetypes and tropes, the characters or situations that fit that brand, and just for fun, we rate them. Of course, these ratings and rankings are based on our own personal experiences, and you're welcome to add your own in the comments. But in the meantime, I'm not doing this by myself. Please welcome my guests for today, Alex and Trey. I'm so glad to have you on. Yay. Yay. Okay, so today we are once again going to be covering the villain trope. As a reminder, characters that fall under the villain trope are the antagonists of the heroes, and yet we love them or love to hate them. They are usually known for their cunning and intelligence and are sometimes enjoyed just based on how evil they can be. Villains tend to be very determined, coming back again and again despite being thwarted by the hero. Our villains for today are Joker and Green Goblin. So, Alex, Trey, I know you all are fans of these characters. Can you give us a bit of an overview of how you are connected to the fandom or to these characters?
So Green Goblin, I think I wouldn't necessarily say connected. I think everybody has that dark side within them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say I'm connected to the Green Goblin.
More so like how did you get into the Spider-Man fandom, or like how did you
I was just about to say I would say I'm more connected to him only because Spider-Man is my favorite hero.
Okay.
Right. And with Green Goblin being his greatest villain is not Doc Ock, it's not the Lizard, it's not Sandman, it's Green Goblin. That is the only person that's on his rogues gallery that's on his level, right? They always say you're only as good as your baddest villain, and a villain's only as good as his hero. Those two are equals, right? Goblin pulls his punches just like Spider-Man pulls his punches. And the moment one of them starts to take it up a notch, the other one does the exact same.
right.
It's funny. It's really funny, like reading their back and forth, because they're both so witty and they're both so joke telling y. Again, Goblin is literally a goblin. He laughs every time he hops on the screen, which is why Willem Dafoe's portrayal of the Green Goblin was just so amazing as a kid and
So
as an
good.
adult.
So
Like, because it's literally what he's supposed to be and what he does. Like, just that Norman Osborn, Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde dynamic between Norman and Goblin is just so amazing. And to me, he's a number 3 villain of all time. Number 3.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Trey. Alex, what about you?
So let me start off by saying I am Team Marvel. However, when it comes to DC and villains, my all-time favorite is Harley Quinn, which kind of ties in with the Joker.
For sure.
Long story short, my dad loves Batman, so kind of always seen Batman movies. But the one villain that always stuck out to me was the Joker. It's just like they're dynamic. They can't leave each other alone, even if they tried, which they did. However, they always seem to find each other. So
exactly. Cool. So I'm going to catch our audience up on these two characters. The Joker hails from DC Comics and is known as Batman's greatest enemy. He is a psychopath with no supernatural powers, but he uses his knowledge in chemical engineering to create thematic weapons like deadly joy buzzers and playing cards and other poisonous and lethal concoctions. Though he has had many redesigns and origin stories over the years, he is the definition of unbridled chaos, taking pleasure in murder, theft, and terrorism. The Green Goblin is a character from the Marvel Comics and an adversary of Spider-Man. The Green Goblin possesses superhuman strength, increased speed, reflexes, endurance, intelligence, and healing, and utilizes Halloween-themed weaponry, which is my favorite, but like miniature pumpkins and ghost bombs. He was originally a manifestation of chemically induced insanity, which was something new that I learned, listeners. But the mantle has been picked up by numerous people, most notably by Norman Osborn. The goblin is completely unhinged and seeks to destroy and kill anyone and everything. Do you all have anything to add? Because I feel like you all are going to be more knowledgeable about these two characters or these worlds than I am. But do you have anything more to add that I didn't say?
No, you pretty much nailed Joker on the head. He is a sociopath. I mean, there's no other way to put that.
Right.
I would say the origin of Goblin is actually kind of funny. The way he is now is not the way he was supposed to be. 64, 65, whenever he got brought in, there was a writer who was writing him out. He wrote like the first few issues of that Spider-Man run. And he originally wanted Green Goblin to be like a Aztec or an Egyptian entity.
Interesting.
And he wanted him to take over somebody completely new. They never wanted it to be Norman Osborn. He said if he wanted it to be somebody that's already established, he wanted it to be, which is funny, he wanted it to be Tony Stark because of the gadgets and because of the weaponry. But Stan Lee didn't want that. Stan Lee wanted Norman. So the writer who was writing the comic left. Like he just stopped writing, and like in the middle of the comic, like in the middle of the run, I think it was like book 4 or book 5, he's no longer credited as a writer, and then that's where Stan Lee and I forgot who the second person that took over. That's when they took over, and then that's when they introduced it as, okay, he's Norman Osborn. He's nobody. He's Norman. He's not a entity. He's not a god. He originally had a flying broomstick.
I saw that in my
glider.
research. I was like, interesting.
So it's funny. Like the Goblin that we know and love today was not the original plan for the Green Goblin, and I just think it's always funny how stuff like that plays out. Because had he been an Egyptian entity, he would have just been another apocalypse.
Yeah.
This would have been hilarious.
And could you imagine him chasing Spider-Man on a broom?
Hey, it's in the first few issues of that run. Actually, he still, yeah, he has.
I know it's in it, but like just like how they taken everything and putting it on film. Like, could you
that
like?
would have been interesting.
I would have been like,
hilarious.
That's a broom. I guess it fits the Halloween theme, but
yeah,
I wouldn't have.
Okay.
That would have been interesting. I like the glider.
I like the glider so much better than the mechanical broom.
Yeah,
but it's just amazing to like think about. Like, man, this could have been such a different. This could have went such a different. Especially if they would have went the Tony Stark route. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah,
We found out the Green Goblin was Tony Stark.
that would have been really weird and really crazy. I could see it because it's like, another rich dude that gets taken over and has that like split personality.
That's why he said if he wanted it to be anybody that's already established, he wanted it to be Tony Stark. But other than that, he was all for it being somebody new that nobody knew who it was.
Yeah.
Because there's more than Oscorp and Stark Industries in the weapons industry. It could have been Justin Hammer. It could have been Obadiah Stane. It could have been a million other people. Was later on we got those too, but it could have been anybody else in the weapons industry as the Green Goblin. That would have been hilarious.
What if, man? I'll love that idea. All right. So Alex kind of already answered this first question because it's not my surprise question, but I do have an important question, and that was going to be Marvel or DC.
Oh,
Marvel all day. Like
For sure. And I think that's a no-brainer. I think I enjoy a lot of the heroes and the villains that come out of DC, but unfortunately, it's just not my favorite thing.
So for me, it's love Marvel, always will be Team Marvel. That's something me and my dad bump heads all the time. But in my opinion, I feel like DC has better villains.
I could see that.
For certain heroes.
Okay.
I'll put it that way.
I will say DC does a better job making their villains match their heroes. So you have
Yeah.
Zod, who's Superman's direct enemy. You have Cersei, who's Wonder Woman's direct enemy. Joker to Batman. Black Adam to they do a good job
Yeah,
equalizing their heroes and villains, but I
it,
think
it
Marvel just has
they're
the better
it,
villains.
DC villains and heroes match versus Marvel is like, why are you mad at that person?
I think where Marvel messes up, and I kind of think it's a mess up, they make their villains too universal. When you look at somebody like
Mm,
Green Goblin, right? He's not only fixated on Spider-Man, he's taken on the Avengers multiple times, right? Same with Doctor
mhm.
Doom. He's not just fixated on Reed Richards. He's proven it. He's a multiversal threat when he wants to be. Uh, all of the like everybody's villain has the potential to be bigger than what they are. Even Sabretooth to Wolverine, right? This is somebody who casually walks up to the X-Men and knocks down everybody whenever he feels like it. They just do this thing to where it's like, okay, your villain is a little too broken. All right. You need to put them down, but you won't. So I think DC does a better job because you're not about to sit here and watch KG Beast go up and take out the entire Justice League. It's just not about to happen.
Right.
Right? You're not about to watch who's Nightwing's big bad right now. I can't think of Nightwing's big bad right now. But he's not taking out the Justice. He's not even taking out Teen Titans, right? He's staying on that level. Their street tier characters are staying street tier, and it's not changing.
Right. Interesting. This is gonna be good. Y'all are already like not so knowledgeable, so I'm just like woo, because I mostly watch the movies. I did read some comics because I love X-Men, so I've read a lot of X-Men comics. But as far as like these characters that we're talking about today, I mostly just know them from what I've seen on the screen. So, and then the like research I did for this episode. So I'm excited. This is gonna be good. My other question was, we haven't had many live action variations of the Green Goblin, and who really cares? Because, like you said, Willem Dafoe is ridiculous. He's so scary.
We got the one we need. We
We
don't need
got
it anymore. We
he
don't
just
need it
needs to do
again.
it forever. Like he is so when he was in No Way Home, it made my heart so happy because he was so good.
Yeah,
But who is your favorite Joker? Like variation. What actor is your favorite Joker?
I have to pick one.
You can do a top three.
Okay, if I have to pick one, oh man, I would hands down probably Heath Ledger. If I had to pick a live action one,
Yeah.
like I still am to this day upset the overall outcome of that situation because he took the role personally, and I wish more people would have checked up on him
Yeah.
because Jack Nicholson said it best. Like, I know exactly what he went through. Like, he had that team in place for him because actors who really get into their roles, they really get into their roles. And I just wish he had that team behind him so he could still be here today. Like,
Ugh, could you
I still
imagine?
like that's one of my favorite Batman movies of all time. And I rarely watch Batman movies. I mean, I see them all because of my dad, but that's
Mhm.
besides. But if I was to rewatch any of them, I'm definitely watching The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Trey.
So
Hmm?
unpopular opinion.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I have Cesar Romero as like my number one Joker,
Okay.
right? Because
Old
one,
school.
it was it was a TV show, it wasn't a movie. So he was allowed to be the Joker more than just 20 minutes, right? And you see him do all these Joker-esque things. One of my favorite things that he ever did was the prison break scene where he's playing baseball, and next thing you know, the pitcher's mound is like spring loaded as a trampoline to boot him out of prison, right? Like that's some Joker. That's something that Joker would do. right? Like just his entire run in that series as the Joker to me is number one, right? Because it's never been a moment where you thought like, man, would Joker really have done that? No, he would have done every single thing that Cesar Romero did. Um, Number two, and there's another unpopular one, Jared Leto.
Really?
And I say this because the time Suicide Squad was shot, DC Comics was going in a completely different direction, and that was the Joker that DC gave at the time, right? So I couldn't be mad at it because that's the Joker that DC was giving us in the comics, right? The modern day gangster type Joker. That's what DC was giving us.
Hmm.
Nobody liked it because it wasn't the traditional Heath Ledger wearing a purple suit Joker, right? Nobody liked it because it wasn't that. But this is what DC gave them to work with at the time, right?
I
And and
like
and and third, I have to give it to Jack. I just have to. The whole party man sequence, no other joke. Leto doesn't have it, even though he's my number two. Um, Caesar doesn't have it. Uh, Phoenix doesn't have it. Nobody has that party man sequence because you can literally see Joker busting into a room dancing to a Prince song of all songs. and, and everybody just like, okay, I don't know what's going on. And he's just messing with the mayor. It's nah, that's definitely my third. I
Okay.
I never fell into the Heath Ledger hype. I mean, it
That's
was good.
okay. It was just good. It was
It
just
was
good for you.
good, but I never fell into the hype, honestly.
I think he was my favorite too. I just thought he maybe it's also because I didn't watch much Batman growing up.
Yeah.
Um so he was my first like really besides like I don't even know. There's been like 26 variations of the Joker across like live action and animated,
And yeah.
which
Now if we're
Mark
doing
Hamill,
animated,
right,
yeah, I
Mark
was just about to say now if we're doing animated, Mark has it. That is the
yeah.
Joker.
I'm about
Yeah.
to say it, like it depends on which type of Joker you're referring to. Are you referring to the movie Joker or are you referring to the anime? Because if
Right.
we're talking about like Trey said, we're talking about animation. I mean, that's
It's
a
Mark.
whole different ball game.
Yeah. Mark
Mark is
Hamill.
universal, everybody's Joker.
I did not
Nobody's
know he was Joker until like I feel like it was very
until I
not
became an adult.
yeah, not until I became an adult because his character like Joker compared to Luke
Luke
Skywalker is
Skywalker is
totally and his voice acting is ridiculous. So
Yeah,
when I like looked it up and then I think I saw like a clip of him performing and I was just like that's
yeah.
that's so much talent and so ridiculous. So good. Okay.
gotta give it up to him on that one
Yeah,
because
gotta give
man,
it to him.
never would have guessed Luke Skywalker was the Joker as a
I
child.
know. He's
Never.
so good. So good. Okay. Let's get into talking about these two characters. We're going to first talk about their henchmen. Both Joker and Goblin tend to hire thugs and ruffians to help them carry out their nefarious deeds, though Joker is often accompanied by repeat members like Harley Quinn. So, whose henchmen do you believe are better equipped at getting the job done, or who better uses the people that serve them?
I'm gonna give it to Goblin only because 98% of the time he's not using henchmen.
Hmm.
That 2% of the time he is using henchmen, he's using well-established people. He's using the Rhino, he's using Scorpion, he's using Sandman, he's using people that could use the money, but they're also threats. He's not picking John Turner off the street, you know, to go and fight Spider-Man. No, he's picking people that can give Spider-Man a run for his money, and they're doing it right. The Sinister Six, one of my favorite villain groups of all time. They usually get the job done. Where they fall apart is they conflict in who's going to be the one to kill Spider-Man, right? And that's usually 9 times out of 10 that's when Spider-Man takes the advantage, and that's when he's like, okay, cool, now I can pick y'all apart one on one. But before that moment happens, they usually got the job done. Spider-Man is usually beaten. He's done. He's battered. He's bruised. And then they fight amongst themselves because everybody wants to be the one to take out the world's not most powerful, not strongest, the world's greatest hero in Spider-Man. And everybody wants to be the one to kill him. And that's where the Sinister Six falls short. And again, I have to give it to Goblin because when he hires people, he hires you for the occasion. He's not hiring some random off the street to do it, right? He's just not doing it.
Poor thugs getting beat up by Batman.
Yeah.
So about that, so I will honestly say, I in this aspect, I would give it to Goblin just for the mere fact that Joker, like you just, hey, you want to come do something for me real quick? Like I feel like that's what he did randomly, and of course, yeah, he had Harley Quinn and worked with Two-Face and them every now and then, but occasionally, I really think he just went downtown in the alley, paid some people, and was like, hey, you want to do something? And he mainly used them as props. Like, I'm going to use y'all as a distraction. And once Batman figures out my little game, my little joke, then he's going to come find me, or I'm going to go look for him. Either way, it was all a game. Like a big chessboard.
Yeah.
To him. Like, I'm gonna put out these pawns. I'm gonna let you defeat the pawns while I'm chilling in the back type thing. And then when I feel like getting up, then I'll get up. And then the thing was like, even if he threw Harley Quinn out there, love my girl, but she used to get her behind beat every now and then get captured, and he dipped out.
For sure.
So it's like, I'll give it to Goblin. I'm all for Joker, but it was like a game to him.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I love what you said. I think he definitely just used his henchmen as distractions. Like, because more often than not, anytime I watch a show with Joker, it wasn't, well established characters. It was just these people who also enjoyed causing trouble and making wreaking havoc, and he's like, let's just have some fun, and then they get their butt kicked they just get sent to the hospital by Batman. So then you're like, sorry, thanks for the help. All I needed. Man, love Joker though, because it's so crazy. He's just so
I mean, yeah, it's always fun to like watch him build an army, but then it's just like, why build this army that's just going to get torn down by one man within 5 minutes?
And not even building an army. I feel like they just walked out of being free from jail. You see them coming out of the jail, and you're like, hey, I got something for you to do real quick.
Want to make some money?
You might make some money off of this. However, I still got something for you to do.
And then again, he does it in Gotham. So it's like the most crime-ridden city. You have more bad guys than good guys in the city. So it's just like easy pickings. Hey, who wants to be the one to do this against the Batman? And everybody wants to run at the chance to do that against Batman. Everybody somehow thinks they're going to be the one to bring down Batman. Like, you're a random guy off the street, barely bench pressing 180. You're not taking out the Batman. I don't know why you think you're doing it, but you're not.
That part. Could you imagine living in Gotham? I'm sure the rent is cheap.
I would move expeditiously. We're talking Gotham has 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom houses, 2 stories, going for $500 a month right now. I'm not moving there at all. Can't convince me to do it.
Let somebody say there's a teacher position. I'm not going over there.
Not to Gotham.
Not to Gotham.
Not to Gotham.
You want me to teach where? No, thank you.
No, thank you. I love like the memes of like watching superheroes wreck your car before you paid it off and things like that. And that's all I ever think about when I think of things like that. It's like, because they don't care.
Insurance doesn't cover it.
Yes.
You didn't have superhero insurance. Like, I would pray my stuff got wrecked by like Tony Stark, because I know he's going to pay for it, right? But if it got wrecked by like Spider-Man, who's dirt poor and is not paying for my stuff, or got wrecked by somebody who just didn't care, God forbid I'm in the boys universe and it gets wrecked by like Homelander or something.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in the store buying groceries. I come out, my car flipped over. Like, who gonna pay for this?
Charge it to the game. You just gotta charge that to the game.
This is why people ride bikes.
Yo, because it's not gonna work at this point. It
It's
doesn't
not.
work.
Oh, who didn't took my car to hit a villain?
Yeah, you see the Hulk breaking down your car to use it as boxing gloves, and now you're just like, well, shit. What you gonna do against that?
I was
Nothing you
running
can
late for
do.
a meeting, but
Yeah,
go off, Hulk, go
That
off.
part.
right. Go off, Hulk. Like, yeah, just you have to pick all the cars in the area. You had to pick my car. Like, come on now.
I can't. I love that, like that idea. It's just so funny to me. Okay. Next up, Joker and Goblin are crazy. There's no question about it. A clown and a goblin wreaking havoc on their various cities. How would you compare and contrast their personalities?
I would say, I, in my opinion, I feel like the Goblin more plans
Hmm.
versus the Joker is just winging it. Joker is very chaotic. Like we're there, we can't skip around that. He could probably just wake up one day and be like, oh, I think I'm gonna mess with the Batman today. And like I said, just gonna go out, find some henchmen, put his little pawns out, call it a day. I feel like Goblin's more organized.
Hmm.
I will agree with that simply because from what Alex just said, right? Whenever you see like a Joker thing, it's like he's using pawns as a distraction, and when Batman finally gets to him, he's still setting up his final plan. Like, you couldn't just set this up yesterday. Like, you couldn't set this
Draft
up
it
a
out
week
on
ago.
your whiteboard. Like, let's
Right, right.
go.
He's still trying to rig the bomb to blow and still trying to do this, that, and the third. To where Goblin is just like, I already have my game plan. I've been planning this for months. I just need you and you to get him to this location at this exact time, and I got the rest of it. Y'all might get. Can I cuss on? Can I cuss on this podcast?
I just try to avoid
Try
F
to avoid.
bombs.
Okay,
Yeah.
y'all might get y'all's ass beat in the process. However, comma, if you get him to this location, I'll stop him before he does something bad. Right? And that's usually how it goes. That's usually how it goes, unless Spider-Man gets some help from either Miles or Ben or Kane or Gwen. There's usually that thing with the Goblin. It's planned out. It's meticulous. He has a plan A, B, C, D to where Joker's just like, okay, all of y'all distracted Batman while I set this up, and y'all are gonna get taken out while I'm still in the middle of setting it up. Goblin is way
And like
more organized.
I really feel like he just wakes up and
Yeah, he
he's like,
does.
today I'm not
Now,
going
I will
to
give it. I will say this. I will say this. The one of the few times, I can only count 5 times on my hand. I mean, I can only count 5 times off the top of my head that Joker really planned some shit. We got probably the greatest comic book run in all of DC, which was Injustice. The main time Joker planned something, and that was when he planned for Superman to kill Lois. We
Hmm.
got the greatest DC comic book run ever.
See, and I thought you were gonna go with Killing Joke because I felt like that was a fairly well thought out plan for the
It
most
was
part.
what this is why I didn't go with Killing Joke. It was well thought out. However, it could have ended a lot. Or Superman literally said I could just go kill Joker right now, and Batman was like, no. And that's why it drug out so long. And then that's when we ended up getting like all of the other stuff, Future State and all of that. Superman was literally like, I could just go kill him right now. And he could have at that exact moment. Superman could have killed Joker, and Batman was like, no, let's not do that. It could have been something else. And I'm just like, okay, you could have just said Superman do it, bro.
Yeah, because I mean, like, what are you doing, Batman? You send this man to the asylum, or you try to take him to jail. He always pleads insanity, goes to Arkham, and then breaks out.
that.
So I'm just like, why not just get rid of him at this
Do you know how
point?
many people Batman has killed by letting Joker run free?
That's what I'm saying. The
Like,
liability alone is
and
just
that's why I said one of the few times that Joker actually planned something out, we got the greatest comic book run in DC history because Superman killed him. Superman definitely killed him,
yeah.
but it set off so much other stuff to happen in that universe where Joker planned out the murder of Lois. It was a masterpiece. Like he's like, even after I'm gone, chaos is gonna ensue, and I don't care if I die. And it's what happened. It's exactly what happened. We got Superman versus the gods and the heroes turned on each other. It was way more chaos after Joker was gone than it was when he was living.
Right. Ah, so good. It's good story because I feel like the Joker's personality because my next question was going to be who would you say is more chaotic, and I feel like the Joker's personality lends to him being as chaotic as he is because he doesn't give to whatever's about what he does as long as it causes the
I said
most
it for
damage.
you. I
Yeah.
said
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
I
he
would,
doesn't
yeah,
care.
yeah. Joker is a little bit more chaotic than Goblin. I will say that.
Mhm,
Like I
mhm.
said, Goblin is just more. I have an end goal, right? Everything I do is towards that end goal. Joker just wakes up and like, all right, I'm gonna fuck this up. That's that's way more chaotic than somebody that has a plan, right? Because he's
Yeah.
unpredictable. You just can't out chaos somebody who doesn't have a plan and
Yeah.
doesn't care who gets hurt in the middle. You
I
just can't.
for sure. I guess if we were gonna say Joker has excuse me, any plan, it's mostly just to see who he can break, right? Because that's like his whole purpose is to prove to people that just one bad day is what can make you just as crazy as him. I mean, we saw that in The Killing Joke. I think we see it a lot with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I
Yeah,
guess that's the whole purpose of that like thing. And that'll
anybody
be
could be. Yeah,
yeah, anybody could be crazy. And that'll be interesting to see when that comes back because I know they're adding Harley Quinn and Lady Gaga to that arc. So that'll be
Yeah,
curious.
very curious.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see what Lady Gaga is about to do.
Cause
She's like
I
she's not a
love,
bad actress. Like she's
she's
proven
not.
that she's good. Yeah,
yeah, I
but
love her,
yeah.
love her. However, comma,
However,
It's
and
Gaga. You know,
yeah.
it's
when I
you
I
know
know she's
what
done some stuff and won some awards, but I still have Poker Face, Paparazzi, Bad Romance, Lady Gaga in
For
my
sure.
when you ran the music scene, as long as Lady Gaga ran the music scene in like the mid 2000s to I think say mid the late 2000s to like mid 2010s. I mean, go do a couple of DC movies. Try to
Right.
revive the franchise, I guess.
She had us by our throats, man. Like
Woo. High
Lady
school,
Yo.
high school was Lady Gaga. Man, that's all. That was all Lady Gaga.
All Lady Gaga. Do
can't
you have
say.
a favorite Harley Quinn actress? Now that we're thinking about that,
Do I have a favorite one?
mm-hmm. Or a couple.
Um, I honestly don't think I do. I'm just that person who I love all. So I mean, if I had to pick, um, can't remember her name. Not Maggie. I was skeptical of her at first, but
Who,
she
Margot?
won she won me over.
Oh yeah, she's been cute.
Um, yeah, she won me over. This is one of the animated ones, not the one that's currently going on because I know who plays Harley Quinn in the current
That's my
because she was on Big Bang Theory, so I know her.
Oh
Um,
really? Oh really?
mhm.
I did not realize that was her.
The voice of Harley for the HBO Max
Yeah,
was Penny in Big Bang Theory.
did not realize
did not
that.
know that. I didn't know that either.
Huh?
She's like, well,
Didn't you learn?
did not
Because
know this.
that was the whole thing. Like, really, her?
Yeah,
Hey, y'all haven't seen y'all because everybody was putting her in that Big Bang Theory
the
Bubble.
box.
box, and I'm like, no, she has a mouth
Hmm.
on her. But I mean, I love them all, but I think if I had to pick one, it would probably be between those two because they both played the good and the bad of
Okay,
her. Like,
awesome.
yeah, it's just. I mean, I have a whole tattoo of her on my shoulder blade.
Right,
So
right, right. So she's it.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna give it to HBO Max, Harley. For me,
okay.
um, first of all, that's probably the greatest animated show that DC's dropped in a while. Like That show is amazing. So as far as Harley goes, I love that show, but it's like it's a different twist, right? She's not reliant on anybody.
Yeah,
Everything she's doing in that show, for the most part, she's doing it because she wants to do it, not because she's following the Joker, not because she's looking for affection from, yeah, to a little bit she's looking for affection from Ivy, but it's not like her driving force behind it,
right. Because
you
I
know.
mean,
So
we didn't talk about it, but like the whole relationship between Joker and Harley
I don't,
Quinn,
yeah, no, no,
it's
should not be
just so
glorified.
no, it's so funny that people are like, oh, I want my relationship to be like
Mm-mm.
Joker and Harley Quinn, and
No,
it's
you don't.
like you
It's
really don't.
so I'm not gonna lie. At one point, I was that person, but after being on the outside looking in, it's like, yo, that was real toxic. Oh
Super
my god,
toxic.
they're toxic.
Toxic
Yeah,
ain't even the
I
word
still
for it.
love her. I still love her, but no. But I love how HBO Max her realize, yeah, this is not good.
yeah,
And that's why I like it, because again, she's not reliant on she's not reliant on the Joker. She's stepped into her own supervillain status, right? She's not just a right hand woman or a fall woman. She's not the person that's just taking a fall. She's causing her own trouble. She's making her own name. She's doing everything on her own. And in some episodes, she's actually trying to do a little bit of good.
yeah.
But you
Very
know,
now.
every now and then, yeah. But yeah, no, no.
She's like a chaotic neutral.
Chaotic,
Yes,
yeah, exactly. Chaotic
that's a good
neutral.
way to describe her.
Like me.
So yeah, I think HBO Max has it for me.
Okay. Awesome. So before we continue with the rest of our questions, we are going to take a short break. So stay tuned. We will be right back after this bookmark. And we are back. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for sticking with us. Before we continue, just want to point out that we are, of course, repping. If you are not watching and just listening, we got our backgrounds. Trey's got the goblin fighting the Spider-Man, and Alex is repping Batman turned Joker. I have on Batman. We have Green Goblin in the background. You know, always Switzerland here. So we just keeping it even. And then again, these are not just two random people that I pulled up off the street. I know my friends here from
See, she's already thinking like Goblin. See,
right. Just I'm not like that. I don't just grab people off the
I
yeah,
street.
feel like that was a dig at the Joker.
it
No,
was. It really was.
I just, these are people who I've outsourced. No, I'm joking. I know Alex and Trey from same as last week with Trey and Momo. Alex and Trey come from Watuele or Blogwarts. We are the Fang Gang, and we are repping Slytherin in here all day, every day.
We need
Alex
like a
is
hand sign. We need a hand sign for
we do.
Slytherin, like a gang sign.
You saw the one they put, like it was like the sorority one that was like
I'm not doing that from Stomp the Yard. I'm not doing that. I am not.
Alex is actually our headmistress for our common room. So we appreciate the queen, the headmistress, being here today. Thank
Do
you.
nice because you know you want to.
She wants
Well,
to.
Yeah, okay.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
As I wear my Southern stuff.
I love it. And I've mentioned blogwarts before on the podcast. So if you are out there, Black nerds who also enjoy Harry Potter or any other geeky things, please feel free to come to Facebook. It's blogwarts on Facebook. I couldn't think of the tagline because my
Yeah,
brain stopped working.
I can't either.
I'm like,
Nope, they'll find
nope,
that.
nope, nope.
There's
I'm like,
honestly speaking, it's the same people in all of these blur groups. It's the
yeah,
exact same people.
it is, honestly.
Once you're
If
in one, you're in all of them.
right. I'm sure if you're in Black Anime Nerds, you're also in Blogwarts. You're probably
Yeah,
in Planet EB John.
exactly.
Like
It's the
here,
same people in all of them.
all the things. But feel free to come and join us if you are not. We have a blast. You do have to take your house test before you join any common room. You can't just sneak in to anything. So
Because I will be looking for that.
gotta post your passport. You gotta say that you are a Slytherin through and through. So but we welcome you. We're gonna go
Don't
back.
say you took the test in '98. I need an updated test. All right, go
Not
ahead.
No,
I'm
we
nine,
sorry.
need the official results.
not 98. Yes, the Pottermore results are
The
what we
Pottermore
need.
results. Yeah, that's what we need.
Love it. Okay, back to Joker and Green Goblin. Both the Joker and Green Goblin use a variety of themed weapons and gadgets. Which weapons do you think cause the most damage or are your favorite?
Okay, that's two different questions.
I know. Which ones do you think cause the most damage? I'll start there.
Pumpkin bombs.
Pumpkin
Green
bomb.
Goblin.
Yeah.
I mean, the like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Love Joker, but he just be putting random stuff and making it explosives.
Didn't he have something though? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he have something that could turn people insane? Or is that another DC villain?
So he took Scarecrow's fear
I'm about to say
toxin
that's Scarecrow's.
Got
and
it.
he twisted it and made a Joker toxin. So it's technically still his because it's not the fear toxin. He just took the fear toxin formula and modified it a little bit to where people now become more insane versus scared.
Hmm.
So you could kind of point to him for being able to rewire it, so to speak, but it's not his original formula. So it depends on how
I
you want
say
to look
it's
at it.
not his. That's why.
Got
That's
it.
why I was like, I get it.
So yeah, as I say, it's like it depends on
He
how you want to look
revamped
at it.
it.
Yeah,
He
it depends on how
revamped
you want
it,
to look at it.
but
Because
it
he can always
wasn't.
create more, right? And
Huh?
he did the same thing with Bane's Venom, right? Like
Yeah.
got the formula, figured out how to rewire it, and now, hey, now you're a juiced up Joker, henchman, you know?
Right.
So it just depends on how you look at it as far as that goes. Because even Norman, right, the serum that turned him into the Green Goblin wasn't originally his serum. It was the super soldier serum. That was everybody was trying to recreate super soldier serum.
Yeah.
So I can't give him. I mean, I can give him points for that because hey, you took the formula and you tried to make it your own, and you created what you wanted to create. It just so happened that it exploded before you drunk it. And same with Joker. Like I can give you credit for taking a formula and just reworking that formula into doing what you want it to do. So I can give him credit for that. It's just those pumpkin bombs are those are a whole new level of
With
destruction, man.
the little pumpkin bombs.
Yeah, there's so much destruction in one little Pokeball sized bomb. Like it can go from something as small as a building size, a two-story building size explosive, and next thing you know, he got another one that's just it can level a city block. Like,
Right.
and as we've seen in like the first Spider-Man series, like some of them don't even do a lot of destruction. They just melt flesh. Right. So it's so many uses to them. Like that's destruction, right? But it's not like I can throw it in a room and it's not gonna blow up the room. It'll just melt flesh in a room.
Interesting.
Right?
Like
So
I want to say each one of his little
pumpkin
bombs
bombs.
that he was able to make them into certain things. Like I
It's
can
like
throw this
Hawkeye's
one.
quiver. It's like
Yeah, like
Hawkeye's quiver. Each one has its own purpose, right?
Yeah.
like where Joker just had lots of bombs. I'm just gonna wire. I'm gonna wire this bus. I'm gonna wire this stage. I'm gonna
Now I
wire.
will say the cool thing that Joker has is the acid flower because I don't know how people constantly fall for that one.
Because
Like,
it's like right here, right?
It's
He
like
his
just
right
grab.
there.
And
Well,
he's
you
like,
keep
here, smell this, and they go up and smell it.
and then get
Now
a
they got
face
acid on their
full.
face.
or the electro glove to where he goes to shake their
Yeah,
hand
or
and
he'll
like
shake the
Yeah.
hand.
who keeps falling for this?
It's basically a taser, but on your hands, and they just still shake hands. I wouldn't
Yeah.
even touch it. First of all, if I see this clown walking towards me, I'm going
I don't even
somewhere
like
else.
clowns.
I don't like clowns.
But see, and
So,
that's what and that goes to what I said earlier, right? DC keeps their villains at the tier that they're supposed to be at. There's
yeah.
no way Goblin should just be running around throwing around city block leveling explosives, but he does it. Right? The glider itself, right?
Yeah.
There's so much technology built into that glider. Honestly, I kind of want it because it can do stealth, right? If you fall off of it, it has a homing sequence to where it goes and catches you.
Right.
It has missiles as well as bullets. Like that glider can do a lot. Glider can do so much.
Okay.
That leads me to a kind of a side question. I didn't have this one written down, but how would you rate Joker and Green Goblin, like, intelligence wise? Is one smarter than the other?
Hmm.
I'm gonna say yes, one is smarter than the other. Marvel does a much better job showcasing intelligence than DC does. DC just says, hey, this guy's a 12th level intellect, and they don't do anything to prove it. The only thing they say is a 12th level intellect is somebody that is able to hold 12 genius level thoughts at the exact same time. Okay, cool. Marvel shows Tony Stark is able to do that times 10,
Mm-hmm.
and they show him doing it, right? I don't know why my Alexa just thought I asked it something, but whatever. So right, so we get these issues, we get these comics where Tony Stark himself is having 30 and 40 different conversations while at the same time building 10 whole new Iron Man armors. Like, so in DC's eyes, he's like a 30 level intellect, 40 level intellect, maybe, right? Norman is right there with him.
Okay.
Norman is right there with Stark, and Stark's not the smartest man on the planet. He's not even top 5. But the fact that he's able to do this would put him so far above even DC's smartest. And again, Goblin's right there with him in intellect. They both run the two most successful companies. Actually, take Parker Industries out of it, but they both run two of the most successful companies, like Stark Industries and Oscorp. They're right there neck and neck. And this is things that these two built from the ground. Well, Stark didn't build it from the ground up, but Norman basically did. And they run it on their own. And I got to give it to Goblin. I have, like, Joker's just as smart as Batman, but Marvel does a much better job showcasing intellect than DC does.
Joker is smart where he needs to be.
Okay.
Why would I personally try to go fight Batman when I can get other people to do it for me until I'm ready or his plan is set in place? So if I had to give it to somebody, I would give it to Green Goblin, but I will only say the Joker is smart when it comes to what his plan is.
Yeah, and that's why he's more chaotic.
He's like street smart.
Yeah, that's why he's more chaotic than Goblin is, because again, how do you plan, or how do you minimize the chaos from somebody that's so unpredictable?
Yeah.
The reason why Goblin isn't killing millions of people is because it doesn't fit in his plan, right? He's not winging it. So he's far less dangerous than Joker, but he's a lot smarter.
Okay. So thinking back to the weapons, do you have a favorite weapon? I know you said you want the glider. That I could consider that a weapon because he does use it to kill. So, do you have any others besides the glider?
It's hard to not want a pumpkin bomb. It's really hard to not want, because again, they do so much.
They do.
Like the flashbangs, stun grenades, regular grenades, the ones that split up into like little heat-seeking birdies, and yeah, they do so much. It's hard to not want a pumpkin bomb. I'm gonna say pumpkin bombs.
Yeah. Alex?
Oh, that sounds stressful.
It really is. It is very stressful.
I don't need weapons. I'm just gonna put it that way. I don't need it.
Got it.
I'm enough as it is. And just knowing what he has, like bombs. I no.
You don't want you don't want Joker's crowbar?
Joker's what?
Crowbar?
The
The crowbar he used to beat a Robin to death?
Man.
I mean,
That's dark.
I had a bat at one point. I mean, in my other car, I had a bat that my friend made for me, and it had Harley Quinn. Like it was like Harley Quinn's bat. So I don't.
Joker's weapons just they're not convenient for anybody to want outside of Joker, right? Like that
Yeah.
long barrel revolver he has. Who's really and it doesn't even shoot bullets, it shoots bang signs. Who
True.
is gonna want one of those, right? Or the boxing glove, the Jack in the Box boxing glove. Like who
Yeah,
wants that? Nobody wants that. Like so it's just
it's
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like
it's
his
just
weapons
stuff
are more
he like.
comedy.
The bomb is downtown, and I got the controller here. I don't need stuff like that. I know me.
I
I
got it. I got it. I got it. I would say for me, I think I love a good Halloween themed anything. So the goblins weapons are probably my favorite, mostly just because it's
Pumpkin
Halloween.
bombs.
It's Halloween. And I think
It's
the glider would be nice to get around places so I could avoid traffic.
and if
So
you fall off,
it
it's
catches you.
programmed to catch you. So it's hard to not want a glider. It's really hard to
yeah,
All
both of y'all are
not.
That's why we're on the list, I guess.
Right.
All right.
special.
This is our last question. And this was the surprise question. In either of their worlds, Joker and the Green Goblin never win against their superheroes, even if they put them through like a hard time, a tough time. If the universes were switched, with Joker battling Spidey and Goblin battling Bats, would they succeed?
No,
Are you saying no for Joker? He wouldn't
don't
survive?
know for Joker because it's all a game to him.
Hmm.
And what fun is the game when the other opponent is no longer there?
Hmm.
That's
Okay.
why I feel like he had plenty of opportunities to kill Batman, just like Batman had plenty of opportunities to kill him. They both never took it. It's all a game.
So he would just continue that game with Spider-Man, basically. Okay. Trey?
I think so. I think Marvel answered this question for us a while back as far as Joker, right? Um, my favorite Spider-Man comic is Back in Black, where Kingpin. The one thing you don't do to Spider-Man is harm Aunt May. The
Mm.
one thing you don't do. Spider-Man will joke with you all day long. You can hurt Mary Jane, you can hurt Tony Stark, you can hurt any of the Spider fam. You don't touch Aunt May, right? Kingpin hires a hitman to shoot Parker, but his spider sense kicks in and he dodges the bullet and the bullet hits Aunt May. Now, the reason why I say they answered this question, Joker's going to intentionally go after Aunt May because he's going to
Mm.
figure that out, and he's going to intentionally. And the moment he does it, Spider Man's not pulling punches anymore. Spider Man is going to go after you, and he's going to take you out. He did it to Kingpin. The only reason Kingpin isn't dead right now is because Spider Man literally made a deal with the devil to reverse everything, so he wouldn't have to kill Kingpin.
Huh.
And again, it's my favorite Spider-Man book, right? Because
Yeah.
it shows you just how crazy Spider-Man. When Aunt May takes the bullet and they tell you like the timestamp. Within 4 seconds of Aunt May taking that bullet, Spider-Man had already located who shot Aunt May and launched a Jeep 5 stories into that window at that person. Within 4 seconds of Aunt May getting shot.
That's crazy.
Right. That speed, power, and precision right there. Joker's not stopping that. Like
Nah.
4 seconds to run outside, grab a Jeep with one hand, mind you, and just launch it 5 stories up into an apartment at the person. Perfect. Like the Jeep literally hit the person. I think he actually killed him. I don't remember if he killed him or not. But I would imagine he killed him. A Jeep comes flying through the window and hits you dead on.
Most likely.
Right?
Most likely
Right?
you're dead.
I want to say it killed him, right? And then after that, Spider-Man just goes on a crusade. doesn't get touched a single time in this book. Nobody touches him. Nobody surprises him. He actually listens to his spidey sense. Nobody surprises him. Nobody even gets close to touching him. His spidey sense actually leads him to where he needs to go and to find out who put the hit out on Aunt May. And again, he has this scene. This is what makes it my favorite Spider-Man comic, because it shows you what Peter could have really did. He puts his hands in Kingpin's throat, and he's like, if I press down, within 2 seconds, web fluid fills your entire body and you suffocate. He's like, if my aunt dies, I'm coming back to finish the job. So he left to go be to be in the hospital with Aunt May at her final moments. Aunt May dies, and Peter's like, okay, all right, I know what I got to do now. And then Mephisto, the devil, comes in. He's like, I can reverse all of this if you want. And Spider-Man's like, cool, because I really don't want to kill him, but I'm about to.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, it's crazy. Like Spider-Man gets crazy, and even when Doc Ock takes Spider, people don't. The only person that knew it at the time was Green Goblin, but up until Doc Ock took possession of Peter's body, nobody knew how much Spider-Man holds back. Right when Doc Ock took control of his body, he punched Scorpion and punched his jaw clean off.
Gosh.
And Doc Ock's like, he could have did this to me at any given moment in time. Like I've been thinking I've been getting up on this kid. This kid's really been holding back, right? And that's why when people be like, "Who would you rather fight in an alley, a silent Spider-Man or Batman?" I'm taking Batman any day of the week, because a silent Spider-Man is probably about to kill you.
Oh man. I did not know all that. That's dark. That's scary.
There's a lot that goes into like Spider-Man and his villains, and that's why, to me, Marvel just does a great job like highlighting stuff like that, right? And that's why I think Joker goes into Spider-Man's universe. He's gonna press the wrong button, and he's gonna die. To where Green Goblin goes into Batman's universe, he's gonna kill Batman. There's nothing stopping him from killing Batman. There's nothing in the Batcave that not Joker. There's nothing in the Batcave that Goblin hasn't seen and or built already. For one, there's nothing in the Batcave that he doesn't already have the ability to overcome. He's stronger, faster, smarter than Batman. He's willing to do what needs to be done. His combat level is probably equal to Batman. Batman is not this great martial artist that everybody thinks he is. Like Green Goblin has what it takes to effortlessly wash Batman. He's on a whole nother level, right? This is still a superhuman being that we're talking about against just a man in a bat costume with a bunch of gadgets. He'd mop Batman effortlessly. It would take somebody like Race or somebody like Deathstroke to come in and stop Goblin from murdering Batman. But he'd do it. He would do it.
He would
Like,
do it.
yeah, you swap them, Batman dies and Joker died.
Okay. Alex, you have anything else to add?
No, he pretty much said everything.
No, I think that was very thorough. No, that was good. I wasn't sure which way any of you either would blah, blah, blah. I wasn't sure which way either of you would go. So that was good. That was really good. Okay. As always, we will end our show with something a little silly. Keeping the Joker and Green Goblin in mind, we're gonna do some most likelies. Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
who would
Let's
be
do
the
it.
most likely to write on someone if they pass out at a party?
Joker.
Joker.
Yeah, I agree. He just because that's his MO.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would be most likely to talk through a movie?
Joker.
Joker.
He's gonna have so much to say. He's gonna criticize everybody.
Don't let it be a bad movie.
Right.
Right. Don't let it be a bad movie. Yeah.
Oh man. Who would be most likely to have the weirdest profile on a dating app?
Goblin. Simply because we know the lengths that Norman would go to, when it comes to dating or when it comes to finding a woman, right? Well, the depths he would sink to. Let me not say the lengths he would go to, the depths that he would sink to. Like I don't want to get too deep into another Spider-Man comic, but
It's okay.
Norman would have the weirder dating profile.
Okay. Alex, do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Who would most likely who would be the most likely to one up any story?
Norman.
Norman.
Norman hates being beat. Right. So like, if you tell a story, he's probably gonna try to tell a story to beat it. Joker's just like, okay, mine happened. No, yours probably didn't. Like, so I'm gonna give that one to Norman.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Norman's like, well, you think you fought Spider-Man. Let me tell you.
You fought a
Me.
bat.
You fought a bat.
Your villain's in a bat costume. Well, my villain, I mean, your hero's in a bat costume. My hero's in a spider costume, and he actually does things. Oh, you've done this. Well, I've done this. Like
Right.
Norman hates being one upped, which is why him and Tony Stark have such an amazing dynamic. Like they hate each other, but their dynamic is fucking funny.
That makes a lot of sense. Who would be most likely to be able to make the most elaborate cocktail?
I
So when
wouldn't
we say
trust.
elaborate,
I wouldn't trust Joker with that. I would not.
exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
No,
okay, like, are they
no,
really making like which one is like an
no,
actual drinkable cocktail?
Like a
no,
drinkable cocktail.
no, no,
Norman,
no.
Norman.
Just
He's Norman. He's evil Tony Stark, right? He has he evil Tony Stark.
he's making that cocktail. Alex is
Yes,
just not gonna drink nothing that the Joker
that's what I think.
makes.
'Cause I'm like Joker is probably gonna literally melt your throat off.
That's no.
I'm trying to think of what it would be. It would like he'd come up with some kind of crazy title for his drink.
Next thing
Like,
you're laughing like
yo,
uncontrollably for the next
Like
10
Joker's gonna
years.
make you a drink, and you're not gonna wake up for like 3 days. Just no.
yo.
You didn't miss work. You didn't miss somebody's basketball game. Just no.
Just don't do it. Don't trust the Joker's cocktails. Who would be the most likely to give the finger to a stranger that pisses them off?
Joker. Well, me.
Joker's gonna give you the finger no matter what. Um,
Just for fun.
let alone piss him off. Norman's gonna brush it off like, okay, I got more money than you, so what?
Oh, he does. Comic book characters are richer than we are. It's okay. It's all right. Last one. Who would be most likely to eat another employee's food at work?
So since Norman runs the company, he's probably gonna pull some whole I run this company, anything in the refrigerator is my refrigerator. Joker has lines that he won't cross. And I think that's one of those lines. Like, because every time he says something that he won't cross, like there's a book where one of his henchmen mentioned he ran across a kid that was crying, and he asked the kid, why was he crying? And the kid's like, oh, well, my dad's one of your henchmen. And then like Joker literally forced that henchman to go be with his child. Right. Joker has lines that he won't cross. I think that's one of those lines. So when he's like, I do a lot of things, but I don't support what was it? What was it?
Eating somebody else's food?
That wasn't it, but I feel
Oh,
like and that's why I feel like it, right?
yeah.
Joker has lines he won't cross. Norman doesn't give a damn.
Really?
Especially at where I own this company. Your lunch is my lunch, especially if it looks good to me.
This is mine now. Thank you.
Right. And if you care that much about it, here, I'll buy you another one.
Got it. I love it. Alex, anything else to add?
I mean, yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you again to Alex and Trey for joining me. If the listeners want to find you doing anything online, where can they find you? If you want them to, like your social media names and things like that.
Um,
Yes.
I don't do nothing online.
I guess if you're looking for me for anything, I guess it would be I guess I'm gonna start using my Twitter more with my up and coming project. So
Nice.
yeah, my Twitter handle would be Contraverse, ContrayVerse. Yeah.
That's dope. I like that name. That's cute.
I guess if you have to find me, I'm more active on TikTok. For my rants and stuff. I believe I actually changed my handle on TikTok to teacher.phoenix.
Okay.
Oh.
I believe so. I can't remember. Yeah, check me out on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might start using TikTok more
Join
again.
us on TikTok. We have fun.
I'm already on there. I just took a break from it.
That's true. You do. I forgot you do have a TikTok. That's true. All right. So our sources for today came from tvtropes.org. As always, Wikipedia. Thank you to Bill Finger, Bob King, and Jerry Robinson for the creation of the Joker. And of course to Stan Lee and Steve Ditko for the Green Goblin. I hope you will join me for the next chapter of our show. If you want to hear us discuss any other villains or tropes, you can search for us on TikTok or Insta using our title. You can also email us your ideas at deepinplot23@gmail.com. Until then, I hope that you stay deep in plot, and we'll see you next time. Interested in following the show, the host, or the guest? You can find Trey at Contrayverse, CONTRAYBERSE on most platforms. You can find Alex on TikTok at teacher_Phoenix. You can find Renee at University Geeky on TikTok or Insta. And you can find Deep in Plot on Insta at Deep in Plot Pod, on TikTok at Deep in Plot, or you can email us at deepinplot23@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.